Welcome back. We're now going to look at this AudioPro Bluetooth speaker. This was one of the ones I did in the speaker review. If you haven't seen that, I shall put a link to it in the description and you can watch that. It was the one where I tested this and the two X-Boom speakers. If you haven't seen it, this one powers up. We get some lights, we get a flashing auxiliary light, but nothing else happens. So I think the next thing to do is to get into it somehow and find out what that rattling is. Sounds like a piece of plastic. So this is the AudioPro A10. Let's see if there's any screws under here. So there's more screws here. This kind of grey bit doesn't want to come off. There's two clips at the bottom, but it seems like something here. There we are. It's okay, that's nothing broken. And off it comes, and more screws. Let's see if this centerpiece will come off now. Again, it's glued in, so we have to do this. Now we have to be careful because obviously this is a mains powered item. Get the glue off, and there are some ribbon cables and whatnot, so again we have to be super careful. I think can't see where the glue is. This cable here is glued down. So what's stopping it now is these cables here. So I think we might need to push these through. Don't need the wireless stuff on for the moment, so we'll take that off. Give us a bit more free rein with this. And there we go. There's the unit in its entirety. Let's have a quick look over the PCB. There's been a bee in here or something. Well, I mean, it's hard as anything. Two caps down here look to be fine. Maybe we could check the voltage there. If that's a Wi-Fi board, or maybe that's the Wi-Fi board. WinBond, yeah, that's usually link plate A28. That looks like the Wi-Fi board there. That's possibly Bluetooth. One thing we can really do with this is plug it up, see if we're getting voltage. So we've got some test points here, ground, 3.3 volts. We could check those. Capacitors all look good. Okay, let's plug it in. So it's not doing anything. Obviously I need to be very careful here because there's mains level voltage going in there, so I don't want to touch anything around there. Okay, so I've been having a look at some of these ICs. So the first one I want to look at is this one here. So it is a EML 3190. So this is a step down converter, obviously used for power. Let's power it up. So pin 4 is ground. That's that one there. And then if we look at pin 8, that's the voltage input. More than 20 volts. So if we look here, 21 volts. Okay, that's fine. Now the enable line is pin 7, so this should be high, so it should be 5 volts. And it is, so the chip is enabled. Pin 3 is the voltage. So it gives us a nice clean 5 volts. So the 5 volts is coming out of there. Getting voltage there, 3.3. There does seem to be voltage around here. Just picking things off. Okay, I've got the scope out. What I want to do is plug it in and see if there's any activity on this crystal. Well, that looks good to me. Look at this side. Yeah, so that's a good clock pulse there. So this is the audio to digital converter. So not really sure what we should be seeing on here, but seeing something. Well, it's a nice regular pulse. This is that. I'm just kind of prodding around here to see if there's anything obvious. But I mean, it all looks like it's working, you know. Right, it's been quite some time since I looked at this. I've had loads of other things through for repair. For me, it's been probably 6 weeks, couple of months. And that's the way it goes. Sometimes just you don't get too far with something and then you put it away and then it gets forgotten about and then you find the box and you decide to have another go. And also, if you haven't noticed, I've got a bit of a cold, so that's why my voice sounds a bit weird today. Now, if I remember rightly, we did get some lights on here, so I think the power supply is working. I think actually what we'll do is we'll take this board out and then we can get it under the microscope a bit easier. There we are. Okay, it's unplugged. I'm going to have a quick look around some of these capacitors and just see if any are shorted. Let's go here. I've noticed some test points here, so let's check these. We do have 3.3 volts there. Okay, obviously that's going to be ground. So this is getting voltage. 1.2, 3.3. So it'll be a power regulator, no doubt. 4.9, 2 voltages are there. 4.9. Well, let's check one of these pins then. Okay, we can assume that this board is getting power. What I'd like to do is get the scope out and just have a look and see if there's any actual data flowing in here. Picking something random. Well, there's definitely some data going on there. Got a good clock. We've got good voltages. I can't see anything shorted there, but let's get the thermal camera onto it and see if that shows anything. Plugging in now. Ooh, what's that? Yeah, there's something there, definitely. Even with my finger in there, it doesn't stop. Okay. Now I'm a bit concerned that it's on that board underneath there. So I think we may have to try and get that off of there. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. Okay. And there it goes. I should have thought to put some IPA on that. That might have been a better idea. But whatever that glue is, it's not hot glue. So this is the opposite side of the board. And it's just a bunch of capacitors and resistors, and this chip here, which I suspect is the one that's getting hot. So let me do a quick search and see what that comes up with. So looking at the data sheet, it is a flash memory IC, which I think means that this repair is over. Unfortunately, even if we can get another chip, which we can, we don't have the code that goes into it. So I think we're unfortunately out of luck on this one. We'll put it back together again, but let's return it from whence it came. Right, okay, so we come to the end of this one, and unfortunately this is going to be a no fix. A bit of a shame about that. I really wanted to get this one working. It looks like a really good speaker, and I bet you it sounded just as good. Right, I just wanted to add a little bit to the end of the video here. It seems that those Winbond chips are available, so there is a small chance that if we replace that, it might actually work. I think it's a very small percentage, probably 1 or 2%, but since I was ordering some parts anyway, I thought I'd just buy a few of them and we will give that a go. So there's going to be a part 2 for this video. Second thing is that the actual board itself is a standard plug-in board. So what I thought I'd do is have a look for some of them. There's not many available at all. They seem to be discontinued. They're very high price, which I'm not prepared to pay. So my apologies, this has turned into more of a tear down and build up video rather than a repair video. But for the moment, we're still looking at a no fix. Right, we'll leave it there for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.